The ground we walk on is unnecessary. We believe that the sun and the open sky are humanity's birthright. Yet beneath our feet lies a vast realm that shatters this belief. Centuries ago, thousands of people looked toward the horizon. On that horizon, they saw something they could not withstand. They chose to bury themselves alive. Because no refuge on the surface was ever safe enough. They were deep beneath the harsh and silent plateau of Anatolia. This is the story of Derinkuyu. Enjoy the journey. This was not merely an engineering achievement. It was a scream carved into stone. These people did not descend underground to live, but to avoid extinction. And they did not simply go underground. They built an 8-level city beneath the earth. Every tunnel, every step, every narrow corridor whispers a single truth. There were moments in our history so terrifying that the only way to survive was to vanish from the surface of the world. The moment you cross the threshold, the air changes. Your lungs fill with oxygen of poor quality, heavy, stale air that has been trapped here for centuries. As you descend, the light of the world fades. It is swallowed by stone. Soft, volcanic, tough walls begin to close in around you. Every axe mark on these walls carries meaning. They bear the sweat and desperation of people working in panic. An extraordinary silence dominates this place. Studies suggest that tens of thousands once lived here. Just imagine it. The crushing, deafening silence of 20,000 people holding their breath at the same time. Beneath the unforgiving soil of Anatolia, 18 levels below the surface, you are inside a labyrinth where every law of human comfort has been rejected. Look at those massive stone doors. They resemble nothing like the door of a home. Each weighs around 500 kilograms. They can only be sealed from the inside. At their center is an opening barely wide enough for a spear to pass through, or just enough to watch the darkness outside. These doors tell a story historians cannot fully explain. They were never meant to be opened from the outside. They were placed there to sever those inside from the world forever. Once that stone was rolled into place, the people inside were condemned to darkness. Whatever roamed the plains above, they had escaped it. Rather than face it, they chose to hide in the cold womb of the earth. Imagine the emotional weight carried by those who pushed that final stone into place. The deep ache of knowing that from that moment on, the sky was no longer theirs. As you descend deeper, the scale of the impossibility begins to overwhelm the mind. This is not a simple cave system. This is a machine designed around the instinct to survive. Ventilation shafts descend as deep as 60 meters, carrying life even to the lowest levels. The wells were engineered with no direct connection to the surface, so that enemies above could never poison the water. There were animal shelters, wineries, vast food storage chambers. No weakness was tolerated. Even smoke from cooking was channeled through hidden shafts so it could not be seen from above. This was not a temporary refuge. It was a parallel world. The perfection of its planning points to a chilling foresight. Every necessity of life was considered. Yet in doing so, they left all of life's beauty behind. They replaced wind with stone and sunlight with oil lamps. At this point, an unsettling realization settles into your mind. Throughout history, humanity has always sought height, stars, expansion. Derinkuyu stands in direct opposition to this instinct. This is humanity's greatest retreat, the final stronghold of a civilization that believed survival meant becoming invisible. prepare yourself. The most disturbing part is coming. The architecture of Derinkuyu makes one thing clear. This was never meant to be used for a few days. It was not built to escape a single raid. People spent months here, perhaps years. This was an experience that spanned generations. Imagine a person born on the 6th level, someone who never saw a tree, never heard the sound of wind, who knew only the smell of stone and the soot of oil lamps. What kind of threat could force a society to raise its children in darkness? History tells us of the Hittites and the Phrygians, of early Christians fleeing Roman and Arab raids, but these explanations feel insufficient. Armies pass. Sieges eventually end. Derinkuyu, however, was an escape from something relentless, systematic, and absolute. If this refuge was built solely for humans, what level of brutality awaited above? Or perhaps what they were fleeing was not human at all? Was a catastrophe at the gates? One history was too afraid to record? Had the surface of the earth become an uninhabitable hell? We are examining a vast underground city built for a doomsday scenario history chose to forget. Try to imagine the psychological collapse of these people. Life continues just meters above you, yet you live inside a tomb where even a whisper could mean death. Every sound, every echo, could reveal your presence to a hunter above. This is the sensation of being systematically hunted. The people of Derinkuyu were not merely hiding. They behaved as if they had been erased from the surface of the world. History remembers attackers and conquerors, but it ignores those who hid, those who descended underground in fear. Today, we are standing on the erased memories of thousands of people. As mentioned before, this structure is composed of layers. When you reach the deepest level, the 18th, the air grows colder. You feel the weight of millions of tons of rock pressing down on your shoulders. The churches and meeting halls here are among the quietest places on Earth. No vibration of the modern world reaches this depth. It is the suffocating weight of breathing while buried inside a grave. And then, at some uncertain point in history, these people left. Derinkuyu was abandoned as silently as it was built. There are no signs of massacre, no burned bones, no evidence of a siege, only emptiness. As if one day they managed to open those massive stone doors and walked upward, toward the light, never to return. Or perhaps they accepted extinction. In 1963, a man discovered this city by accident while demolishing a wall in his home. But perhaps it was never meant to be found. Some doors should remain closed. Some secrets should stay buried beneath stone. When we walk through these tunnels and return to the surface, the world no longer feels safe. Open air feels exposed. The sky feels too wide. Derinkuyu is not a tourist attraction. It is a fossil of fear, carved into stone from the darkest corner of human nature. It reminds us that once survival meant only one thing: to bury oneself in the earth like an animal. And as we step back into the light from that pitch-black entrance, one chilling question remains. They were forced to build this to survive in the past. As advanced technologies make the world far more dangerous today, what will we be forced to build to survive in the future?